Hello again, friends of Truth, Justice, and the American Way. Just wanted to provide everyone with a quick update of the two Supreme Court actions that are still active in Nassau County Supreme Court. On the left, you have that file is 1834, index number 1834. That was Judge Brown's decision. We prevailed. We got everything that we asked for that the judge could legally give us. The only thing that we asked for that we didn't receive was the summonses issued to Saladino and Antotomaso, and that's because that function is discretionary. The town has been ordered to provide the court all the information behind the alleged 25 people that were interviewed for Commissioner of Public Safety Justin McCaffrey's position. All right, I understand that I think 3 people actually were interviewed, but Joe Saladino has gone on the record in a town meeting swearing that 25 people were interviewed, and town attorney Frank Scalera has got documents in there swearing that 25 people were interviewed. So what's supposed to happen is by June 20th, the town was supposed to supply all the information for the 25 people to the court. The court is going to review it, and we're all supposed to be back in court on July 18th to finalize this action. The town they were ordered to answer a number of FOILs, 8 FOIL requests within the action. They haven't provided me information with anything. In fact, the famous former federal prosecutor, town attorney, Hempstead resident Joe Nocella went on the record in the town meeting explaining that the town was going to appeal Judge Brown's decision. I haven't received any documents, that there's an appeal in process, but I guess we'll find out on July 18th what's going on with that. The other action here is 1163 is the index number. This is Judge Murphy, right, son-in-law of Al D'Amato. The wheel goes round and round, and it always came back to Judge Murphy. In any case, I opposed, or rather I re-argued Judge Murphy's decision. In my initial action, I listed a number of chronological events, violations of open meetings law that in themselves, if they were addressed and identified as Judge Brown did as violations of open meeting law, Mr. Saladino would have to be removed. All right. What happened was, in my opinion, Judge Murphy was very limited in his decision. So a purpose of a motion to re-argue, see if I can explain this to you. All right. A purpose of motion to re-argue, the rules governing it, is the only thing that you could bring forward are facts or law allegedly overlooked or misapprehended by the court in determining their prior motion. So, what I did was I re-argued and I said, hey, Judge Murphy, you didn't answer this, or this. You specifically requested that myself and the town provide videos of the town meetings, but then you ignored any evidence that were on those videos, and you actually excluded that information from your decision. So what I'd like to bring to your attention is I submitted this on June 13th, and the return date was July 5th. And the rules state that if the town was going to oppose it, answering papers, they would have had to have served me 7 days prior to the return date of this motion. Well, some of you may know that I was up in Town Hall a couple of days ago meeting with Mike Esposito, the chief code enforcement inspector or whatever, and when I was up there I bumped into Frank Scalera. Now, I had thought Frank had left the service of the town, but evidently not, and I said to Frank, hey, I can't believe you guys are letting my motion to re-argue go unopposed. And Frank said, we're not. I sent you our opposition a week ago. And I said, no, I never got anything, Frank. Can you give me a copy now? And Frank assured me he would get a copy and bring it down to the clerk's office. Well, needless to say, I had to hunt Frank down, and he finally came out all humble looking and provided me with this affirmation in opposition. So I suppose now I've been hand-served by Frank himself. But I really love these guys. Look, somehow he's got the motion returnable date as July 7th. They were supposed to serve me a week before July 5th. And Judge Murphy's going to entertain their opposition. It doesn't really matter. What's interesting is now I'm going to do a reply to their opposition. And address the inconsistencies that Frank Scalera has listed in here. I mean, the fact of the matter is, the town didn't follow a number of open meeting law or town codes, New York State town laws. For instance, it's clear the town board has to set the salary of the town attorney and the deputy town supervisor. So there would be a resolution where the town board all voted that Joe Nocella and Greg Coleman should receive the $135,000, $140,000 salaries that they're getting. But that didn't happen. What happened was Joe Saladino decided how much money those guys should be paid. You know, look, it's a losing battle. I understand that. It's all rigged. But sometimes you got to fight, even though you know you're going to lose. You know, sometimes taking a beating feels good just to prove your point. At least that's the way that I think. Maybe I'm screwed up. All right, I really appreciate you following and paying attention, and thanks for everything, and maybe we can straighten all this out come November. Hey, friends of Truth, Justice, and the American Way. This is a little follow-up to the court update video. Mail just came today. This will be the town's opposition. You can see that they have it somehow backdated to July 3rd, but even so, they were supposed to serve me a week prior to July 5th. These guys are so lame. I don't know what they're going to do when they all lose their jobs working for the town of Oyster Bay, because there's no real law firms that it's going to hire any of these guys. They're all incompetent.